There's something interesting happening in our world right now. We're more connected than at any point in human history. We can reach someone on the other side of the planet instantly. We can see into hundreds of lives before breakfast. And yet loneliness rates keep climbing. The reason, I think, is that we've confused connection with consumption. We consume people's curated moments. We consume validation through metrics. We consume other people's thoughts and opinions until our own voice becomes difficult to hear. Somewhere in all of this, we became afraid of silence, of stillness, of being alone with just ourselves. When was the last time you were truly alone? No phone, no music, no podcast, no background noise. Just you and your thoughts. For most of us, that sounds uncomfortable. But there's something worth noticing. The people who have the deepest connections, who show up most authentically in relationships, who seem most at peace, they're often the same people who have learned to genuinely enjoy their own company. They don't need people to feel complete. They choose people because it adds to an already full life. To be better with others, we often first need to be better with ourselves. There are 3 layers to building this relationship with yourself. Think of it like building a house. Each layer supports the next. Layer 1. Self-tolerance. This is the foundation. Before you can love your own company, you need to be able to tolerate it without immediately reaching for distraction. A simple practice. Sit for 5 minutes with nothing. No phone, no book, no task. Just breathing, thinking, existing. Notice what comes up. The urge to check something. The uncomfortable feelings. The random thoughts. Don't judge any of it. Just notice. Most of us struggle with even 3 minutes of this. That's normal. That's the starting point. The goal isn't to enjoy it yet. It's simply to prove to yourself that you can be with yourself without falling apart. Layer 2. Self-curiosity. Once you can tolerate your own presence, you can begin to get curious about it. Start asking yourself questions. What do I actually think about this, separate from what I've been told to think? What makes me lose track of time? When do I feel most alive? What parts of myself do I hide, and why? What would I do if no one was watching? You might keep a journal for this. Every day, write one thing you discovered about yourself. It could be small. I realized I prefer walking in the morning, or I noticed I pretend to like things I don't actually enjoy. Curiosity dissolves judgment. When you're genuinely curious about why you do something, you stop condemning yourself for it. Layer 3. Self-celebration. This is where love actually develops, where you stop just accepting yourself and start genuinely delighting in who you are. This looks like doing things for yourself, not to prove anything. Cooking a meal just because it tastes good. Getting dressed nicely on a random afternoon because it feels good. Going to see something you're curious about, even if no one else wants to go. You become your own companion. Someone you plan for. Someone you invest in. Someone whose company you actively enjoy. When being alone stops feeling like waiting and starts feeling like living, that's when the shift has happened. Let me offer some practical ways to develop this relationship with yourself. Practice 1. The solo date. Once a week, take yourself somewhere. Treat it with the same care you'd treat meeting someone you care about. Schedule it. Show up for it. Go somewhere you've been curious about. A museum, a cafe you've passed but never entered, a trail, a bookstore. The key is presence. Be there fully, without scrolling through your phone as a buffer. Treat yourself the way you'd treat someone you're getting to know. With attention. With interest. Practice 2. The inner voice. For 1 week, notice how you speak to yourself internally. Most of us have a voice in our head that's surprisingly harsh. You're so stupid. Why did you do that? You're not good enough. We wouldn't tolerate a friend speaking to us this way. Yet we accept it from ourselves. Begin to shift this. When you catch the harsh voice, pause. Rephrase it the way a kind friend would. You're doing your best. That was brave. You're learning. The voice in your head is your constant companion. Make it someone worth listening to. Practice 3. Boredom. Give yourself space with nothing planned. A morning or afternoon where you don't fill every moment with entertainment or productivity. No scrolling. No automatic reaching for distraction. Just space. See what emerges. See what you're drawn to when you're not consuming someone else's creation. Boredom is where creativity begins. It's where you discover what you actually want, beneath all the noise. Practice 4. Your pleasure invitica. Write down things that give you genuine pleasure, not things that look good to others, not things you think you should enjoy, things that actually make you feel alive. They might be specific: the smell after rain, rereading a favorite book, learning about something obscure, organizing your space, making playlists no one else will hear. Then commit to one of these things regularly. You're learning to generate joy from within yourself. Practice 5. Becoming interesting to yourself. Ask yourself honestly, if you were meeting yourself for the first time, would you find yourself interesting to talk to? Are you curious about things? Do you have thoughts and opinions? Do you do things worth reflecting on? If the answer feels uncertain, that's your direction. Read more, create something, try something new, learn something just because it interests you, not for anyone else, for you, so that when you're alone, you're with someone who has substance. There are things that make this difficult. It helps to name them. Obstacle 1. Fear of discovery. The main reason people avoid being alone with themselves is fear of what they'll find. What if I'm boring? What if I don't like who I am? What if there's nothing substantial there? Here's what I've found. There's always something there, but it might be buried. Under years of doing what you were supposed to do, under layers of being who others needed you to be. The work isn't to avoid looking, it's to look with compassion. You're not searching for evidence of deficiency, you're looking for the person who's been waiting to be seen. Obstacle 2. Social expectations. Our culture treats time alone as if it's a problem that needs solving. Don't you get lonely? Why aren't you going out? You should be meeting people. The assumption is that choosing solitude means something is wrong with you. But enjoying your own company doesn't mean you're antisocial or broken. It means you're complete enough to choose connection freely rather than seeking it desperately. Obstacle 3. The guilt of taking time. If you have a partner, children, responsibilities, taking time for yourself can feel selfish. But consider this. When you ignore your need for solitude, you become depleted. When you're depleted, you show up diminished for everyone else. Time with yourself isn't indulgence, it's maintenance. It's necessary. You can't sustain relationships from an empty place. When you genuinely learn to love your own company, something fundamental shifts. Loneliness loses its sting. Solitude stops being something you endure and becomes something you sometimes crave. Time alone becomes time to recharge, to create, to think deeply, to simply exist without performance. Your relationships change too, not because you need people less, but because you choose them differently. You're no longer looking to others to complete you or validate your existence. You meet people from a place of fullness. That's where real connection lives. You become more creative, more authentic. The constant need to perform for an imaginary audience fades. You stop curating your life for approval and start living according to what actually matters to you. And perhaps most importantly, you become free. Free from the anxiety of needing to be included. Free from the quiet desperation that makes people say yes to things they don't want to do just to avoid an empty evening. You wake up and realize you genuinely enjoy the person you are. That's not just being okay with being alone. That's loving your own company. The longest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. It deserves your attention. It deserves to be cultivated with the same care you'd give to any relationship that matters. Start somewhere. Pick one small practice. Build slowly. There's no rush. The relationship is waiting for you.